Hello everyone, this is meteorologist Avery Hunter, and this is the tropical weather update for September 20th, 2024. We have a lot to go over here. The main point of this video will be to talk of the Caribbean area of interest, but I do want to talk about we still do have the two AOIs located here in the Central Atlantic, both Invest Now 96L located in the Central Atlantic and a couple miles to the west of it, still X-Gordon. Both are 10% chances of development, so it is starting to look unlikely that these two systems will develop into tropical cyclones. So that is looking less likely. So we're going to turn our entire attention is to the Caribbean area of interest. We're starting to get a little bit of agreement of what may happen with the system, but there is still a lot of uncertainty. We'll try to go over it right here, right now. So let's go ahead and go to the infrared satellite here. Throughout the day, we are starting to see the formation of the Central American Gyre right now. We have seen a good amount of convection most of the day located currently. We have seen a good amount of convection currently in this area right here, but that has gone away definitely due to the Darnaro cycle here. But we are starting to see a good amount of convection starting to congeal. Actually, surface observations around this aerosol, we've seen a good amount of low pressure down here in the southern Caribbean here over the past few hours here. So it's definitely showing that the Central American gyre is starting to form here, starting today, and this will continue to. We'll start to still see some counterclockwise spin here over the next couple of days around this entire area, with this broad area of low pressure likely forming somewhere around here over the next couple of days here. I'm going to make this thing a little bit bigger, and then I'm going to turn it back to probably yellow, just so it will be easier for y'all to see here. But we're going to continue to go through here, and then let's go ahead and go to our polywatt values here, just to show you how this gyre has been forming here. And you can also see, you actually can tell right here that you can see there's still a little bit of spin. That's not what I was looking for. Using the epic band for the first time here, so just bear with me. But you can go and see there is already a good bit of spin here if you look at the barbs here, just showing that the formation of the Central American gyre is starting to form here. And we're still expecting this to continue to congeal over the weekend here. If we start going to time, you can see that if we go into Sunday, you can see that the gyre by Sunday evening, early Sunday morning here, the Central American gyre starts to congeal. You can see a definition right here with this wind starting to turn in both directions here, and this will be a broad area of low pressure. And what looks like what's probably going to happen is that by the time we get to this gyre, a piece of vorticity will end up forming somewhere around this area. If it develops east here, or if it develops near the Yucatan, is still unknown here. But we'll look at several models and see where the system may develop here. Conditions will be absolutely variable for the development of the system. We have vastly record warm temperatures throughout both the Caribbean and the southern Gulf of Mexico, with temperatures into 31 to 32 degrees Celsius, especially into the Caribbean, but 30 is extending all the way up to near the Gulf, to the central Gulf of Mexico. We do have a little bit of cooler waters here up near the Gulf Coast states, but it's still very, very warm. We're looking at 28 to 29 degrees Celsius. In addition to the warm temperatures, the ocean heat content is very deep. Look at this, basically maxed out ocean heat content here, basically all into the Caribbean. And then we also have definitely some pretty good heat content in both the Western Gulf, and then you got this loop eddy here, located here, into in the central Atlantic, just showing this the water will be plenty deep, so there will likely be a very lack of upwelling here, and and that will definitely support intense hurricanes if the conditions are right. And it does look like the conditions initially for the next 5 to 7 days look very, very favorable. As you can see, looking at the GFS model, you have our the mean low is actually located into the entering the southern Gulf of Mexico here, but very, very, very favorable environment, right? As you can see here, you have our low pressure here right now, and then you have this expensive ULAC, which is called upper level anticyclone. And what that does is, it helps venture out the outflow. If you look at the lines here, it vents out the convection, continues to vents out the convection, and that will support divergence convection spreading out. It will help to generate more pressure falls and more of a tightening circulation and potentially a strengthening circulation as the system heads into the southern Gulf of Mexico. Then we'll take a look at the synoptic pattern here. This is where we're starting to get a little more agreement of what the synoptic pattern will look like here. So our synoptic pattern is that we have a good ridge of high pressure located here. And this is a very expensive ridge here. And then you have this weaker trough here trying to pick up the system and turn the system more to the northwest here. So that's the general synoptic pattern here for the GEFS here, which will allow the system to turn more to the north here more quicker compared to where we're going to look at in a bit here is the EPS here. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at the EPS ensemble here. You can see for the EPS model, EPS ensembles, the ridge of high pressure here, if we can go ahead and put this back on here, the ridge of high pressure is much more stronger compared to the GEFS here. And as you can see, the trough here is a little bit more weaker here. You don't see it much compared to GFS, and that allows the system to slow down much more compared to what the GFS shows. And it may hang around here for a good bit, maybe even turn a little bit to the west, more west here, for a little bit while, and before it does something else, which will likely be, I don't have it right now in the current set, but turn it more north later into the run here. So slows it more down and turns it more to the west before turning it to the north here, compared to GFS, likes to turn it more to the north more quicker compared to the other ensemble, other models here. So let's go look and see what the GFS show. We'll look at both the GFS model and the European model. So looking at the run, as you can see, the Central American Giant is forming with this broad area of low pressure here. And by the time we get to around hour 96, which is about 4 days out here, we will start to see a little bit of congealment here. A vorticity from the gyre starts to break off, and will try to develop here in the next. What the GFS shows is the next 3 to 4 days here. The system continues to congeal right here, and by the time we get to around day 5 here, looks like we do have a strengthening tropical cyclone located going through the straightaway between the Yucatan and Cuba. And then by the time we get there, it definitely starts to strengthen here and goes into the central Gulf of Mexico, as the trough to the north, like we talked about from the GFS model, is taking it up to the northeast right here. Just one model run. We still have, there's still a lot of disagreement This may not be happening exactly in 7 days here. As you can see, if we take a look at the other runs here, you can see how all over the place it's been here. The Zero Z Murano, as a weaker tropical cyclone, has already made landfall. Another run keeps it more to the into the system for a longer period of time here. The 12Z is a little faster, and the 18Z is similar to the 12Z. So there's still a lot of disagreement between the GFS right now where this system will likely want to go. We'll then take a look at the European model, which is definitely different compared to the European model, to the GFS model, let's say here. The European model has the Central American gyre, but as you can tell, it takes a little bit longer to develop. It actually has a piece of vorticity here into the East Pack here, that makes landfall into Central America here. But as you can see, this basically remains a big old gyre here over the next 5 days before starting to concentrate into the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. And it's a basically more stringed out system, as you can see in the next seven days here. So, as you can tell, there's still a lot of model disagreement between the GFS and the Euro model. But that's the reason why we have ensembles. And ensembles are basically the same parameterizations, but it takes 20, which are dirty ensembles, which is what GFS has, or 50 members with EPS map, and have and shows all different kinds of scenarios. So we'll take a look at the GFS ensembles here. As you can see, the majority of the ensembles, a good amount of ensembles, start to form the cyclone storm in the next 3 to 4 days here. And if we just go out, you can just see the amount of spread here. You got an ensemble that has it already making landfall in the next 7 days, but the majority of the ensemble storm keeps a little more south here. And the GFS run here is actually a little bit north here. It looks like around here. This is where the 18Z run was as of, the 18Z run as of in the next 7 days. So it's a little faster compared to ensemble models. So it will be interesting to see if the GFS will respond to the ensemble routes and may keep it more slower. But again, it's going to depend on what the ridge and the trough does up to the north here. Excuse me. What I also want to tell you is just the wide range of electricity. We have ensembles as far west as the Western Caribbean, and then you have ensembles as far east as of Western Florida. So that just shows you the amount of uncertainty we have with the ensembles here. But there is a good general consensus that the majority of ensembles have it taking up here in the southern Gulf of Mexico at the moment here. So still a lot to talk. Still a lot to go here. Still a lot of uncertainty here. We'll take a look. I just clicked on the EPS again. We'll take a look at the EPS run at the same time frame. And as you can see, it's basically similar. You got a good range here with some runs into the Western Gulf and then some runs into the Eastern Gulf. More Western compared to the GFS model, but compared to the last couple of runs here, it's been generally weaker. But this run has been definitely excited with a good amount, a good mean here on stronger members here into the Eastern Gulf, and then you got a good range of some members here into the Western Gulf here. So as you can tell, that there's still a lot of uncertainty, but it looks like over this past run, the EPS run has started to come more in agreement of the GFS ensembles. Though again, we still got a lot of time before we have something for. We don't have a tropical system out of this yet. So until we get a trackable low pressure, it's going to take a while. It will still see this differentiation of of ensembles and model runs here over at least the next couple of days here. So there's still a lot of uncertainty at the moment. Just to look at it more better here with the weather site here, with the track here. Let's go ahead and loop this here, so just to show you a better understanding here. This is the GEFS run for 18Z. As we wait for this to load here, just to show you the tracks compared to it here. And as you can see, as a variable development here in the next 3 to 4 days, and then you can see most of the sun starts to turn north here. There's that one sun that really sends its more here, but you can see a general good agreement of a strengthening system that pulls the system north, fills more of the trough up north here, and turns it into the Gulf Coast states. But there's still a little bit of summer runs that still keep it into Western Caribbean, like some of what the EPS runs. Same thing goes for the Euro ensembles here. As we will wait for this thing to load. So, but yes, same agreement. As you can see, develops it. Some of the ensembles develop it near the same time here as the GFS ball. So it looks like we're starting to get an agreement that we may have a forming tropical cyclone somewhere in the Western Caribbean here in probably the next, give or take, 5 days. Where it goes after that is still unknown here. Some sawmills start to take it to the north here. Let's go and continue to play this. Some simmers take it to the north, but some simmers turns it into the Yucatan and meanders there for a little while before turning north here. So as you can see, there's still a good bit of mild disagreement between both the GFS and the European ensemble. So that is basically about it. So a review. The Central American drought is starting to fall right now here over the past day, and it will continue to congeal throughout the weekend. And we're expecting a piece of vorticity to form to the somewhere into the Western Caribbean in the next 5 to 7 days. After that is still uncertain. The piece of vorticity may go into continue to the north into the Central and Eastern Gulf, or the vorticity may turn to the west into the Yucatan and meander into the Western Gulf here. But otherwise, definitely the Gulf Coast states should definitely continue to keep an eye out on the system, review your hurricane plans, and know where you go in case we start to see a general consensus of a potential strike into the Gulf Coast states, because it's definitely looking likely. It's looking likely that some part of the Gulf Coast will likely see impacts from a tropical cyclone here, probably in the next 7 to 10 days. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, please like the video, subscribe if you're new, and I hope to see you next time in the next video tomorrow. This has been meteorologist Xavier Hunter.